On a sweltering hot day in Los Angeles, you head to your job as a line cook at Rita's, a retro diner. Today's the big day when the restaurant makeover show is going to film here. Maybe they'll actually save the diner. You find the restaurant in a state of pandemonium as the filming crew sets up. Your glowering manager pulls you aside the moment you step through the door. Good morning to you too, Doug.
Taste of the world, seer. Try to stay out of their way and keep your mouth shut.
I had a few ideas of what I could cook to demonstrate the menu here at Rita's.
Were you even listening? Your role is to stand around and look good. Whatever you do, do not talk to the head chef. After all, you're just a no-name line cook.
Excuse me, cooking is my life, and someday the recipes will be tried all around the world. People will eat at my restaurants and cook and have my cookbooks in their households.
Don't care. Do what you're told or you'll lose your job.
You seethe inwardly. Rita's Diner has so much potential to be great, but Doug could learn a thing or two about managing a restaurant. Well, clearly that's why they're here to save it. A woman in a sleek suit claps her hands loudly. All right, everybody, we have about 5 minutes before the pilot. Move, people, move. She notices you and looks you up and down. I'm Zaro Vias, the showrunner. You must be one of the cooks. Get to wardrobe stat. She nudges you towards the stylist, who leads you behind the diner into a plush trailer. Don't worry, honey. We'll get you all spiffed up in no time for the camera. Ah, this is where you've been. The star of the show, our head chef, is a little temperamental, but if you keep your head down, you'll be fine. Should I really be that scared? Well, on our last shoot, our production designer forgot to fetch an ingredient, and let's just say he got chewed up and spit out. But really, there's nothing to worry about. All you have to do is look presentable. That's where I come in. She starts rifling through a clothing rack and then reaches for a crisp white chef's uniform. It's beautiful. Are you sure it's okay if I wear it? Most people earn their first chef's coat after getting a culinary degree or the first gig in a restaurant. Aren't you working in a restaurant now? Besides, you need to look like a pro in the kitchen if you're going to be in the shots. Diamond choice. The pinnacle of the culinary excellence, oui oui. You carefully smooth out the creases of your new chef's coat, a feeling of excitement swelling inside of you. Is this presentable? You look ravishing. I could eat you up. Please don't. You hear Zara's voice on the loudspeaker signaling that it's time to start filming. You run over to the diner's kitchen, where Doug comes over and hisses in your ear.
Slay that hen. Don't forget to keep your ideas to yourself. This isn't a Lucy show.
Hey, you line cook, you're up. Get in the kitchen and look busy. Nervously rush behind the counter and start chopping up the first cucumber you find. And action! You turn to see where the cameras are facing, when their eyes follow the show's head chef. Who do you see? Oh, man. Alright, so we've got 1, 2, 3, or we can go to a female. I'm gonna go with a male. Like the tats? Your memory stirs with recollection. Wait, but that's Everett Flint in our kitchen? You watch, mesmerized as Everett, clearly in his element, cooks with skill and intense concentration.
Yes, got those onions. Yes, add the spices.
Mesmerizing. Everett shuts the stovetop off and tests a bite of the food and nods in satisfaction. The flambe adds the perfect amount of smokiness. He turns to the chef beside him. And let's see what dish our culinary producer developed for the new menu. I hope you enjoy. Hey, it's you. I haven't seen you in a while. This is horrible. No, I'm kidding. Everett has barely lifted the fork to his lips when he slams it down in disgust. This dish is boring, passionless. Do you think the local trucker dreams about lavender-infused creme fraiche with its bacon and eggs? I was just trying to elevate this 3-star disaster. No, you put soulless fro-hard on a plate and called it food. That dish was top tier. Top tier? You're stubborn, talentless, and constantly defending food that wouldn't pass for garbage. I'm done with you. Get out of my kitchen. Everett, you can't just fire somebody on our first day of filming. I just did. The culinary producer throws down her apron in a huff, then bustles past everyone on her way out, slamming the door behind her. Whoa. The camera stopped filming and Sarah turns to Everett in a huff. Everett, without a culinary producer, we can't conceptualize new dishes. Now we're gonna have to find another qualified candidate. Oh god, no! Not another cookie-cutter graduate from culinary school of incompetent rubes! For once, get me someone who lives and breathes food. Someone with an ounce of passion. A sense of resolution fills you, and you step forward into the fray before you can second-guess anything. Wait, I can help. One by one, the crew turns to look at you. You can feel Everett's sharp gaze searing into you. His eyes dart down to take in your new chef's outfit. At least someone here looks competent, but who are you? My name is Lucy Adams, and I have more than an ounce of passion. That's what you were looking for, right? Food is what drives me. Let me try to fix this for you.
Lucy, what did I tell you earlier?
Just ignore her. She's only a self-taught line cook. Actually, I'll buy it. If you're so knowledgeable, Lucy Adams, then you'll have no problem answering these simple questions. Name 2 ingredients found in a classic mirepoix. I have no clue what the hell that is, but we're about to wing it. You scramble to remember your training while under his strict, uncompromising gaze. A mirepoix is made from vegetables. 2 ingredients in the mirepoix are carrots and celery, potatoes and sausage, blueberries, muffins. Muffins. I could go for a muffin right now. Carrots and celery is a flavor base made from diced vegetables. Correct, but that was a softball question. He picks up a chef's knife and begins sharpening it. Next question. What does it mean to brine something? Ooh! To brine something, you need to use something that can preserve and season the food. You can brine food by storing it in a cool place, soaking it in salt water, mixing it with meat, salt. Alternatively, you can accomplish dry brining by seasoning or rubbing the food with salt and other spices. Everett grunts in acknowledgement. Right, it's one way to enhance tenderness and flavor. You never want to mix things with meat. Usually that makes them go bad faster. Exactly. Everett has moved farther down the counter towards you, and now is less than a foot away, eyeing you with intensity. Last question. The most important one, given our former culinary producer. If I told you that a dish you made wasn't good enough to see the light of day, what would you say? I'll take your feedback and make it better. Correct. See that you do, because it's something that you should get used to hearing. Understood, Chef. He steps back to sum you up. You answered all my questions, but there's really only one way to test you. Let's get you cooking in the kitchen and see what you can do. Thank you, Mr. Flint.
You want Lucy seriously?
Everett, I didn't say we should throw just anyone in. I want an expert, not a random cook from the first diner we visit. I thought you wanted to film today. You see any other cooks around here? Zara sighs heavily. Alright, new girl. You can help us film this one scene, but that's it. You cautiously step in front of the cameras, side by side with Everett, who shoots you a warning glance. Try to keep up. Chapter 1 on fire. Oh, try not to burn down the place. Let's go for that. Your adrenaline kicks in high gear as our emotions for filming to resume. The bright lights train on you. Everett jumps in action right away, pulling down gleaming saucepans and pots. He looks at you with an expectant gaze. You seem to have an idea to fix the dish, so share it. Right. Well, you mentioned that you wanted food with soul. We could do home cooking, something full of flavor.
You listen better than our producer did. Good. What else?
In our clientele, we get a lot of night owls looking for comfort food after going out. How about a new pasta dish?
Everett strokes his chin, mulling it over. A comfort pasta dish. Our own take of El Gilo El Oleo. Simple, classic. Let's do it. Grab some aromatics and slice them. I'll start on the rest.
Everett pulls out a cutting board and begins chopping up shallots at a rapid-fire pace, the tattoos rippling on his forearms.
Lucy, move it.
You jump and stare at the assortment of produce in front of you. He said aromatics. Not cheese, not butter, garlic. You pick up a plump head of garlic. This looks fresh. You expertly crush the garlic with the side of your knife, then peel the cloves, thinking about your next step. What do? Bake the garlic? No. Saute the garlic? Or slice the garlic? You're crushing it, right? You've already crushed it. Why would you slice the garlic if you've already crushed it? Saute the garlic.
You reach for a pan and set it on the stove, but Everett stops you with a frown. Chop up that garlic first. We want as much flavor as possible dispersed in the pasta.
Okay, then I'm a little confused, because if you crushed the shit already, right? If you crushed it, what do you need to chop?
It's either that or Pixelberry just trying to set me up for failure.
Oh, right, I must have gotten ahead of myself. It happens. Embarrassed, you slice the garlic on the cutting board. You add oil to your hot sauce pan and then heat it up and toss the garlic in. After a few stirs, a fragrant aroma floats in the air. Everett returns to your side. You will watch him up close as an expression of thoughtfulness dawns on his face.
The real challenge. Add some heat to the dish next.
So spice. Do you want mint? Salsa? Red chili flakes? You open a nearby container of chili flakes, content with the smoky scent that pours out. This is what we need. You try to focus, ignoring Everett's watchful gaze, and toss chili flakes into the pan. They turn richer red in the hot oil. Everett edges around you in a narrow kitchen, slides up beside you, tipping chopped anchovies and capers into the pan.
A good sauce is still like a great first date. The ingredients need some time to get to know each other.
When the noodles finish cooking, you add it to the sauce, letting the hot mixture emulsify and finish cooking the pasta to al dente perfection. How's this? He tastes the sauce, makes a non-committal noise and frowns.
Shallots complement the garlic, the anchovies add a nice depth of flavor, and the pepper creates a much-needed heat. But right now this is an amateur dish, and we're not amateurs, it's missing something.
Okay. We got the heat, we got the flavor, we got the spice, or something else. Taste the dish yourself and ponder your words carefully. You know you're about to make your first suggestion to Everett Flint. You're right, it's lacking. You said that the original recipe was passionless, right? Then I think we should try doing something that's personal to you.
Everett looks at you blankly. Personal?
Yeah. Everyone has a dish that takes them back. What's your ratatouille moment? Everett pauses, looking at you with a muted surprise, when he springs into action, pawing through the cabinet until he finds what he's looking for.
We'll make breadcrumbs with herbs, parmesan, olive oil.
Sounds like a basic foundation. He glances at you sidelong as he tosses some torn pieces of bread into a bowl. Into the food processor they go. Breadcrumbs. Why breadcrumbs?
I'm from St. Lucia.
That doesn't explain everything.
I know.
He turns away and shuts the oven door. When the crumbs are browned, he plates the pasta using a carving fork and carefully tops it with the breadcrumbs. He has a last squeeze of fresh lemon and garnishes the dish with parsley and pecorino.
Done. That's how you make a signature comfort pasta. No one said anything about half these toppings that are on this pasta, which should actually have breadcrumbs on the top. You both grab forks, twirl the coated noodles, and have a bite. You can't help but close your eyes as the flavor hits your tongue. A wave of ecstasy rolls over you. Oh my god. Couldn't have said it better. You look up at Everett, and suddenly you're aware of how close you are to him. The flecks in his eyes catch the line. And then he turns back to the dish in order to describe it. The acidity of the lemon breaks through the savory shallot, anchovy, and garlic sauce. The noodles have the perfect amount of bite. And the breadcrumbs add a satisfying crunch and texture, just like home. Cut! You nearly jump out of your skin at Zara's voice. You suddenly remember that you're being filmed, your gaze jumping to the cameras and the stage lights. And that's how it's properly done. If you're doing your job, you completely forget about the cameras being there. As the crew begins to bustle around the set, Everett looks up, down at you appraisingly. You stayed out of my way. That's something. I also helped you. Thank you, I think. That's not all. Your last suggestion about what to add. That's what I'm looking for in a chef. It is? Most people would have been too scared to tell me something I cooked wasn't good, but you weren't. What's more, you pushed me to try something different, and it worked this time anyway. I'm glad. Maybe you could teach me more sometime. He cocks an eyebrow at you, and you feel bare under his discerning gaze. Not likely. So much for romance. Without another word, he turns from you and leaves. You take a deep breath, reflecting on the fact that you just cooked with Everett and Flint. I should jot down this recipe before I forget how to make it. You pull out a notebook from your back pocket to prepare your thoughts and doodles, where all treasured recipes live. Literally, that's how I am, okay? That's literally how I am. I'm like, nope! Listen, we cooked a dish, have a good one. Maybe I'll catch you later, you know? The dish belongs to the diner now, and I've always wanted to expand my collection of original recipes for my cookbook. If this pasta gives people the comfort feeling of home, is there a version that could take them somewhere new? Yes, that's possible. Inspiration for a new dish suddenly strikes you. I wonder if I can repurpose the dish with a modern twist, maybe with sea urchin? Listen, no one uses sea urchin in a diner off the freeway, let me be honest. You glance to the next page and let the creativity take over. What if, for spice, we did the Kanzuri chili instead of red pepper flakes? Keep the dash of citrus for acidity, and for the pizza de sauce, uni instead of anchovies. That sounds good. This is how I would plate it at my restaurant one day. That is rich people eating right there. I'm serious. I just want a bowl of spaghetti. Listen, to have something like that, probably a couple $100. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. You've just created a new recipe idea. Throughout the story, you'll be able to invent recipes for the cookbook. Yeah. Maybe this will be the year that I finally make my childhood dream of writing a cookbook come true. You close your notepad and make your way back to the front of the diner where Zara approaches you. I had my doubts, but we got some good footage in the end. Well, thank you, Zara. You're good to head home. We won't film the rest of the day, so the construction team can make over the restaurant overnight. As Zara goes off, you see your manager behind the counter trying to avoid your gaze. Did you see that, Doug? How'd you like them caramelized apples? Oh, I'm doing it! Doug frowns, his face turning red. Don't let it go to your head. You smile to yourself satisfied as you follow the crew outside. Suddenly he went from being an irate a-hole to, like, frowning and being sad. I'm confused. You exit the diner, and when you see Everett and Zara arguing, then you can find yourself another staring through at this BS. Everett storms off in the other direction. Zara raises her hands in exasperation. She catches sight of you.
Oh, it's you. Look, Everett's all worked up because he wants to hire you for the show. Me? He said something about you challenging, offering a new perspective, but he's acting on a whim as usual. We both know you have no experience, no credentials, no relevance whatsoever. Oh, okay. Why don't you tell me how you really feel? Yeah, I love that shit. You know, it's kind of like when people who have never voiced anything besides their own voice tell me how to do what I'm doing. I love it. And I'm like, yo, listen, I do 50 plus voices. What do you got to offer? Absolutely F all. That's all I'll say. In the distance, you hear the sounds of plates shattering on the ground. An intern runs past you, crying. I was just trying to help. Everett Flynn hates me. Zora sighs heavily, massaging her temple, and turns back to you. Look, if you want to impress me, then clean up this mess and get him to calm down. You hurriedly follow the noises of mayhem and find Everett by an upended craft service table, chest heaving. Excuse me, Mr. Flint? What do you want? I don't know, 5 minutes ago you wanted me. I don't know. Pick carefully how you choose to reach Everett. Will have effects throughout the book. Mr. Flint. I'm gonna be a smartass. You really show those sandwiches who's boss. Do you have a point? Just that the BLTs aren't gonna give you any more lip. I might have lost my temper. That's one way to put it. Who do you see? Her? Or him? I'll do a her. Why not? I picked a male, cook. Why not go with a female? I don't know who. You take in the way the stranger strides over, all confidence and magnetism. Everett, isn't it a little early in the morning for making interns cry? It's noon. Happens to be none of your business, Navarro. The stranger holds her hand out to yours for a shake, smiling beautifully. Julia Navarro, restaurateur consultant. Julia takes in your chef's outfit. You're certainly representing your establishment well, and don't worry, we'll get the place fixed up in no time. Listen, I just met her. What exactly does a restaurateur consultant do? I help the restaurants on the business, marketing, and social media side. How to draw new people in and retain the ones who have already visited. Usually it just means learning the story of each establishment and making sure it's coming across. Okay, I don't have time for this. Everett picks up one of the craft sandwiches from the ground and chucks it in a bin. Pavement sandwich made of cardboard despair. I guess I destroyed our lunch. We're gonna have to fend for ourselves. He begins to stride off toward the parking lot. Where are you going? The studio's kitchen isn't far from here. I'm gonna whip up something decent. Come with, unless you want to starve. Don't we literally have a diner in the opposite direction? You both watch Everett go off in Julia's eyes. Glad we're done filming for the day. I'm about at my bandwidth for notorious Everett Flint temper flare-ups. If you don't mind holding on for just one moment. She takes out her phone to call someone. Hi, could I place a large delivery order for an oat milk cortado with a single origin quinoa beans? And throw in an affogato, just for the hell of it. We have another crying intern that needs soothing. Thanks, Jim. The hell did you just order? She hangs up. Thanks, that kind of you. Gotta try to do something for the interns Everett Flint leaves in his wake. Although that puts me in a good mood for coffee myself. Good things. I've got a consulting gig after this at a local restaurant downtown. I was told dessert tastings and drink pairings are involved. Lucky. Rub it in, why don't you? It's a tough job, but someone's gotta do it. And dealing with Flint is a tough job as any. Why don't you join me? I saw the footage of you in action and could use your input. We can celebrate the success of restaurant makeover in advance. Well, that sounds enticing. I'll be prepping some notes for the restaurant before I leave. Just give me a shout if you decide to join.
You're left alone on the set, considering what to do next. Your stomach growls as you think of the chance to get a meal with a world-renowned chef. You also recall Julia's invitation to get dessert. Oh, look, we can join both, so it doesn't really matter on the choice. Visit the studio. Managed to catch up with that Brett as the studio only a few blocks away. You arrive on the lot of the network Food Flicks. I've never been on a studio set before. It's so glamorous. Everett beckons you towards a door. That's not even the impressive part. Nice kitchen. Everett leads you into a large studio kitchen. There's ample counter space, steel racks piled high with endless gleaming appliances. Wow. Everett gestures for you to follow, showing you to fully stocked pantry. You step inside the pantry together, and he gestures at the array of ingredients available. Your set has all of this? Most restaurants don't even have this much. The network spared no expense. Everything here is at our disposal. Whatever we want to make, we can make. He looks over at him and notices his eyes glinting with a subtle current of excitement. So what are you craving? You look over all the ingredients on the shelves before you, letting your mind run wild with the possibilities. You should make me chef's choice. Surprise me. Already on it. Grab anything that catches your eye. Oh, wow. Are these Earthwise single origin spices? I've never even seen these in the store. Yep. The pepper and chilies are second to none. I've always wanted to... You reach for the jar of spices at the same time your hand brushes against the tattoos on his arm. A shiver runs up your spine at the contact with his warm skin. Sorry about that. It's fine. Everett's expression betrays no emotion, but he brushes down his apron despite there being no wrinkles. Let's get out of here. You slide onto one of the counter stools as Everett preps. He fetches ingredients, knowing exactly where each item has a home. As the pan sizzles, you think of what's really on your mind. Zara told me that argument you had was because you vouched for me? Why? I hope you didn't come here to fish for compliments. No, I came here to check in on you and make sure you hadn't lost any confidence. You know, because you seem so unsure of yourself. Oh my god, what did you just say? The corner of his mouth twitches ever so slightly. You're inexperienced. You have 0 star power and most likely no talent. Oh my god! Listen, he just cocked a shotgun and he's like, shh. Did you and Zara share notes or something? You're also better than anyone else Zara's gonna find. I told you as much earlier. Don't make me repeat myself. You nod, deciding that that's the best you're gonna get, and look around at the empty set. It must be freeing, huh? Not to have cameras around, unless you work better under pressure? The cameras are just a distraction from the food. It works with the furtive concentration, moving, almost dancing between the stations, flipping the contents in a pan one moment, rapidly smoothingly chopping up herbs in the next. To your surprise, Everett speaks up, breaking the reverie that you had fallen into while watching him. So what made you pursue cooking as a career? My passion for food is, yeah, I'm kind of the same, inexplicable. I can't explain it, but as a kid, I'd play with a tiny toy kitchen I had. I always been drawn to creating new dishes and experimenting. Just like you did. I want to have my own restaurants and cookbooks someday. People will travel hundreds of miles just to dine. You're ambitious. I hope you know that won't be easy, though. I know, but I'm willing to fight for it. Do you have any advice for me regarding the industry? You can't be naive. Doe-eyed cook. Doesn't matter how much you love food. The network, publisher, whoever, they're gonna commodify your passion. You have to have your guard up and make sure your reason for being here is strong enough. What about your reason? What drew you to a show rather than work at a restaurant right now? I've done the restaurant route before. Staying in one place for too long makes me claustrophobic.
So you get to travel and do something new every day and get paid for it.
Everett reaches around you to grab more olive oil, and you feel the fabric of a chef's jacket against your arm. It's not just about that. I want the show to level the playing field.
What do you mean?
Not everyone can afford culinary school or apprentice under top chefs. With this show, you can learn from the comfort of your own home.
That's a good point. It is.
When the dish finishes cooking, Everett ladles the noodles, green beans, and rich broth into a bowl, topping it with fried onions and mint oil. One of my favorite Parisian dishes. Bon appetit. Ash reshti. Okay, now that's a dish. Never even heard of it. You ready yourself, lifting a taste of the food to your lips. Everett watches your expression carefully. The flavors explode on your tongue. From the salty yogurt, to the refreshing herbs, to the satisfying crunch of the onions, all you can do is close your eyes and smile. So I take it the verdict's good? You wish you could prank him, but you can't. You merely nod through the next large mouthful.
Aren't you gonna try some?
Everett goes around the kitchen aisle and suddenly is right beside you, hopping on the other stool with ease here. Only knees inches apart. He picks up some silverware and digs in. A good chef is always taste testing. For a moment, you eat together in silence, with no need to speak. You navigate around the same plate together, lost in feeling of your taste buds. Finally, you lift your gaze to his, grinning.
Everett, this truly is one of the best things I've ever eaten. And I'm not exaggerating.
Of course it is. You roll your eyes, but enjoy the rest of the meal, Everett seemingly calmer than he was at the craft services. You savor all the flavors until it's time to leave. Return to the set, but recall Zara's words that you aren't needed for filming for the rest of the day.
Well, perhaps I should join Julie at the restaurant for dessert. She could give me more pointers on how to do well on the show.
Knock on Julia's trailer door, and soon she drives you across town to the restaurant. You arrive at a cheery, brightly lit restaurant called Bluebird, and before you're even fully through the door, an elderly couple greets Julia with a hugs. Welcome back, Julia.
Look at you, always professional.
You smile at Julia as she returns the hugs warmly. Gail, Peter, I'd like you to meet Lucy. She's a cook at the diner. We're helping on the show this week.
It's nice to meet you. I'm excited to learn more about what restaurateurs do.
Oh, you have plenty of time to learn, but since it's your first time here, I'd say a celebration is in order.
The couple shows the two of you to a table. Then they both disappear into the kitchen. Julia pulls out a notebook and starts scanning the menu. The desserts here are paired with either tea, coffee, or wine, depending on the flavor profile of the dish.
Sounds delicious. I love ordering a la carte, but going through a tasting menu feels like a special, curated journey.
Yep, for rich people.
Especially when the menu changes seasonally, depending on what produce is available.
Exactly. I personally find creating the different seasonal menus one of the most fun parts of the job. You're selling an experience more than anything else.
Yep. Julie lifts the menu around to face you.
It sounds like they want a revamp of their summer dessert menu. What kind of dessert do you think should go first on a pairing menu?
Something for summer? Fruity, I guess? It's refreshing, gives you a sense of comfort, the perfect way to cleanse your palate from dinner and settle you into the next phase.
I agree. That especially matches the spirit of summer. We could use fruits that are seasoned, too.
Maybe a sherbet sampler or a tiramisu with passion fruit puree?
I would really need to taste that. That doesn't sound all that good. Like, I'm used to the typical tiramisu. Haven't had one in a long time, but still. Like a fruity tiramisu? What? You muse and brainstorm together as Julia jots down the notes, and Gail arrives with 2 coffees, while Peter, behind her, holds 2 plates of dessert.
We wanted your expert opinion on what the main dessert should be.
For the first option, we paired a warm company latte with a sampler of mini dessert shooters.
You say the magic words of latte?
Thank you. Sounds delicious. With the dessert served, Gail and Peter retreat back into the kitchen, and you turn your eyes on the shooters. Mini dessert shooters, how adorable. You touch your shooters together in a toast, then pop them into your mouth. Flavored frosting melts delicately on your tongue. It's so light and creamy. Do you know the story behind the dessert? They wanted a departure from what they'd been doing for years, so they're trying out something new and modern. Well, it's certainly working. The perfect wake-up call. Oh god, yes, give me the coffee. You sip the latte to go with the shooters. You settle back in the seat, happy and relaxed. So, what's it like, working with the others? Zara, Everett seem a bit intimidating, like a handful. I was gonna say intense, but more like a huge handful. Well, sure. Everett's not the most personable chef in the world, and our wires cross every now and then. But I'm confident he cares in his own way. But I will warn you that he has 0 time for BS. If you try to pull a fast one on him, he'll never forget it. Noted. Honestly though, the one you need to worry about is Zara. She's excellent at what she does, which is reeling in an audience. And if someone can't give her what she wants, she'll find someone else who can. So if you want to get your vision on the screen, you'll need to convince Zara that your ideas will get good ratings. Well, got it. Good to know. The couple appears again in the second main dessert option. A rich souffle dusted with cocoa powder and juicy berries. Oh, God.
I remember the souffle was your favorite the first time you came here, and, well, I found myself missing this old dish.
Let us know what y'all think.
With the wine poured and dessert served, Gail and Peter return to the kitchen. Shall we? Oh, God. Listen, okay, listen. I would take this with a coffee. No, screw the wine, dude. I'm serious. I'm in heaven. Still savoring the taste of cocoa, you raise your wine glass to your lips. Ah, a red wine. Interesting choice. New World Cabernet Sauvignon. Definitely compliments the cocoa.
I'm not sure what to do, Lucy. Each dessert seems worthy of being on the menu. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
It's a good problem to have.
Right. But we're to solve that problem. So what do you think? Should their main dessert showcase be a traditional dessert like the souffle, or something experimental like the samplers?
Try out new experimental desserts. They wanted to try something new, right? Clearly they were getting tired of doing the same thing. Mini desserts are trendy, less intimidating because of their size. You can get to try many different flavors from ordering just one dessert.
True.
If they want to bring back the old classics every now and then, they can rotate the desserts depending on the season. This is also true. Julia thinks for a moment and scribbles in her notebook. A plan already coming together.
Foundation is ever evolving, but both old and new flavors will visit.
Right, Gail and Peter can have the best of both worlds. Once you polish off a few more unique, flavorful desserts, Gail stops by your table to collect the plates.
So, how was everything?
Oh, delicious. I tasted it through visual description. They were all showstoppers.
Oh, you really think so?
Gail looks delighted as Julia runs her nose, shaving the menu with her right before your eyes. You listen closely, even to the finer details you don't quite understand. Yeah, no, that's marketing in a nutshell.
Thank you again for your help, dear. Stay as long as y'all like.
Gail takes her leave. You take another sip of the wine, smiling at Julia over your glass. Thanks for inviting me to come along. It's been a strange day, and it means a lot that you've been so welcoming.
Pleasure's mine. If we're going to be working together on this makeover, it makes sense to get to know each other, right?
She glances back over at Gail and Peter.
Besides, there's nothing more that makes me happier than helping small businesses succeed in any way I can.
That is nice. That is nice. There's not many people who think about that. You know, it's kind of like trying to make like small creators, you know, thing like blow up. Yeah, no one gives a shit about us small creators. Seriously, you say that like you have some experience with running on your own.
You could say that. Used to. But I'd rather focus on the present company.
Julie lifts her glass and you clink yours against it.
I hope the episode is a big success. With all the talent on our team, there's no way it won't be. Though, honestly, I don't care about the ratings, as long as we do right by the restaurants and their customers.
I like her even more now.
I'll drink to that.
After saying goodbye to Gail and Peter and receiving a warm hug from both of them, Julia takes you back to the set. I like them. I like it. I like the book so far. It's not bad. Early the next morning, you return to the diner and find it completely transformed. You remember how the diner used to look. I guess more modern update. Whoa, 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 whoa. Little brighter. Not bad. Okay. And your jaw drops. Whoa. It looks so more stylish.
That's our design and construction teams at work. They do restaurant makeovers like no other.
You hear heels clicking on the ground and turn to see Zara.
Whatever you said to Everett yesterday over lunch worked like a charm. He's only a little grumpy now, which means he's back to normal. Well, just doing my job. Actually, it isn't your job, which is why I wanted to talk to you. I want you to know this goes against my better judgment. I don't normally operate on gut feeling, especially when it's not my gut. So you'd better prove Everett right.
What are you saying? That you have the job and you get to star?
Clearly, you and Everett have some kind of connection, so we're offering you a job as culinary producer for Everett Flint Taste of the World.
Wait, what?
Thank you, I'll give it my all. I won't let you down. It'll take more than sheer enthusiasm to handle this gig. As the culinary producer, you'll be working as Everett's right-hand woman, and coming up with new dishes is a big responsibility.
Everett overhears the conversation as he steps into the diner. Don't make me regret this, Lucy.
I won't, I promise. Then pack your bags fast. Our next stop is New Orleans, and we're flying up tomorrow.
Yay! You've created 1 out of 10 recipes for the cookbook. We'd love to see you recreate the dishes featured in Slow Burn. Use hashtag blah 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 blah. Yeah. Save today's recipe for by taking a screenshot on the next page. Well, there you go, guys. I'll keep it up for a quick second. Spaghetti with Santa Barbara uni. So that's what she dreamed of versus the recipe that they actually did together. I mean, really, this isn't a recipe, but it is something you could probably Google. You know, I'm sure it's on there. Without further ado, thank you all for watching. Much love and appreciation. Please consider supporting the channel. You know, my heart and soul and everything else that goes into this is pretty much like the chef there. You know, she gives it her all. And I do this every single day. And I try and give it my all. I've been doing this now since Choices literally came out. And then I look back at all the content before then. Since literally 2011. And I'm just like, yo, listen, I've been doing this for a while now. And while my, content is very much the literal and figurative definition of variety, it'd be great to have you here. It'd be great to have your support. I just want to do this. I just want to make people smile. I just want to make people entertained, and I want to just
give something that clearly no one else is doing. And I'm happy with that. I really am. And people have tried to hurt me and shame me and do all these things to me to make me dissuade from what I'm doing. And clearly it hasn't worked because I've been still doing this since literally when Choices started. Though I've been discouraged. And I do get discouraged day to day, especially with some of the comments that I get, or, you know, some of the things that happen, or dealing with YouTube in a nutshell, because holy mother of God. So, yeah, no, there's a lot, you know, it's kind of like the saying, you know, death by 1,000 paper cuts. In this case, it's about 10,000 at this point, seriously. No, seriously, I keep giving it my all. And my goal here, my dream, if you want to help me realize it, is to get 100,000 subscribers. Really, that isn't all. That's not, I mean, not all. Jesus. That's not a lot. It really isn't, especially when we're almost at 13,000. It'd be great if you guys would share with your friends, share with your family, and just let them know, you know, hey, this guy has a goal. This guy has a dream. This is the one and only goal and dream he has. 100,000 subscribers. Please check out his gameplay. Like, he has 3,600, going on 3,700 videos. And he puts his heart and soul into it. And just, hey, you know, they don't have to love the content. You know, hopefully they enjoy the content, but they don't have to love it and be like, oh my God, I'm obsessed. You know, I want people to come here and be more open-hearted, open-minded, and things like that, and just be a part of this community. That's it. It's my only hope and dream. Really. So help me achieve that. That's it. Thanks again for watching. Love your beautiful faces, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace out.